My name's Kate, a 40-year-old financial advisor who's spent the last 16 years raising Sarah, my bright, fierce daughter who's made every late night and penny saved worth it. I'm the steady type, crunching numbers by day, cheering at her soccer games by night, but I've got a breaking point, and my younger sister Amanda's been tap dancing on it since we were kids. She's 32, a real estate agent with a knack for turning every occasion into her personal stage, and I've excused it too long. Birthdays, holidays, even our mom's funeral, she'd find a way to steal the spotlight. But at Sarah's sweet 16, she didn't just steal it. She tried to burn it down, grabbing a mic to declare the party hers, and trust me, that was just the opening act of a night that turned into a war. It was March 2025, a crisp New York evening, the kind where the skyline sparkles like a promise. I'd saved for months to give Sarah the sweet 16 she'd dreamed of. A rooftop ballroom downtown, glass walls framing the city lights, elegant but not flashy, exactly her vibe. She'd earned it. Straight A's, debate team captain, a kid who'd worked as hard as I had to make this night happen. The venue glowed, blue streamers matching her satin dress, a dessert bar with her favorite macarons, a DJ spinning her playlist. She was radiant, twirling with her friends, her dark hair catching the lights, her laughter ringing out. I stood near the bar, sipping a soda, my chest swelling with pride, until Amanda stumbled into view, a microphone in her hand, her heels wobbling like she'd raided the open bar too long. I didn't see her grab it. 1 second, the DJ was blasting Sarah's favorite pop track. The next, Amanda's voice boomed through the speakers, slurred and sharp. "This party," she said, pausing to hiccup, "should be mine." The room froze, a hush swallowing the music, heads turning, drinks pausing mid-air. Sarah stopped mid-spin on the dance floor, her blue dress swaying as she turned, her brown eyes narrowing at her aunt. Amanda swayed, her red lipstick smeared, her sequined dress glinting as she pointed a shaky finger at me. 16 years ago, she slurred, her voice rising. I was supposed to have a party like this, but no, her arm flailed my way, got pregnant and ruined everything. Gasps rippled through the crowd. My mom covered her mouth, Grandpa Joe rubbed his temples, Jade, Sarah's best friend, whipped out her phone, her fingers flying as she whispered, "Oh, this is going live." I stood there, my soda can cold against my palm, my jaw dropping as her words sank in. Ruined everything? The fizzy sting of the drink bit into my skin, grounding me as Amanda's accusation echoed in my skull like a bad song on repeat. I'd been 24, scared out of my mind when I had Sarah, a single mom juggling night classes and diaper changes, while Amanda, 16 and spoiled rotten, had whined for a Paris trip instead of the sweet 16 our parents had planned for her. I could still see her back then, pouting in that glittery tiara, stomping her foot, demanding they scrap the party for plane tickets, as if my unplanned pregnancy was some grand conspiracy to steal her thunder. "That's not," I started, my voice cracking as I tried to cut through her drunken rant, but she barreled over me, her voice shrill and piercing, slicing through the hum of the ballroom like a jagged knife. "I want the money for a trip instead. Cancel it," she screeched, her arm flailing toward me, her champagne glass sloshing dangerously in her other hand. The room erupted, whispers rippling like a wave, gasps punctuating the air, my dad's sigh loud enough to hear over the chaos, a deep, weary rumble from his chest as he rubbed his temples, his gray hair glinting under the chandelier. Mom's hand hovered near her mouth, her eyes wide with shock, her pearls trembling against her navy dress. Jade's voice broke through, gleeful and sharp, cutting the tension like a spotlight. "Chat's at 20K, Team Sarah's trending," she crowed, her dark braids bouncing as she angled her phone for the perfect shot, her fingers dancing over the screen as she live-streamed to her legion of TikTok followers. Amanda glared at her, her mascara-smudged eyes narrowing, her sequined dress catching the light as she swayed, but Jade just grinned wider, undeterred, her hazel eyes sparkling with mischief. Sarah stepped forward, her heels clicking crisp against the hardwood, her blue satin dress swaying with each deliberate step, her face calm, too calm, a serene mask that hid the storm I knew was brewing beneath. "Wow, Aunt Amanda," she said, her voice sweet as honey, dripping with a sarcasm so subtle it almost sounded genuine. "I really thought you'd love the surprise." The crowd hushed. A collective breath held, eyes darting between Sarah and Amanda like they were watching a tennis match about to explode. Amanda's smirk froze, her flushed face twitching, her grip tightening on the mic until her knuckles whitened. "What surprise?" she snapped, her voice a slurred snarl, her heels wobbling as she steadied herself against a table, knocking over a centerpiece of white roses that spilled across the cloth. The DJ, Tyler, a lanky kid with a man bun and a smirk, caught Sarah's nod and hit a button. A giant screen flickered to life behind him, the lights dimming as a grainy video roared into view. There she was, 16-year-old Amanda, her tiara crooked, her face red with teenage fury, screaming at our parents in our old living room. "I don't want a lame party, cancel it. Give me the money for Paris or I'll make your lives hell." Her voice crackled through the speakers, high and petulant, her hands flailing as she pointed at me, slumped on the couch with a newborn Sarah in my arms. "You owe me. Kate's baby ruined everything." Gasps ricocheted through the room. My mom's hand flew to her chest, her gasp sharp enough to cut glass. Grandpa Joe nodded grimly from his seat, his weathered hands clutching the VHS tape he'd dug out of storage just for this. Jade whooped, "Chat's at 50K, this is gold!" Her phone steady as she zoomed in on Amanda's face, now a mask of pure panic, her eyes darting like a trapped animal's. That's edited," Amanda stammered, her voice climbing higher, her free hand clawing at the air as if she could erase the screen. Sarah tilted her head, her smile widening just a fraction, her brown eyes glinting with a quiet triumph. "Oh, it's real, Aunt Amanda. Grandpa's kept it all these years. Thought you'd enjoy the nostalgia." Amanda's scream tore through the ballroom, a raw, ear-splitting wail that made Jade flinch, her phone wobbling for a second before she steadied it, muttering, "100K live, keep it coming." The mic slipped from Amanda's hand, clattering to the floor with a metallic screech, and she lunged for a champagne flute on the nearest table, her fingers trembling as she snatched it up. With a furious shriek, she hurled it across the room. It shattered against the hardwood, glass spraying like confetti, guests yelping as they ducked, a few heels crunching the shards. My husband David, standing near the bar with a beer, shook his head, his deep voice rumbling, "Here we go again." Mom shot to her feet, her gray hair trembling, her face red with a fury I'd never seen in her 65 years. "Amanda, enough!" she barked, storming forward, her sensible pumps pounding the floor, her voice a whip cracking through the chaos. Amanda yanked away as Mom grabbed her wrist, her dress shimmering as she twisted, her voice hissing like a cornered snake. "You're embarrassing us," Mom snapped, her grip iron, her eyes blazing. "Me?" Amanda spat, her finger jabbing toward Sarah, her breath sour with booze. "She humiliated me in front of everyone." Sarah shrugged, her composure unshaken, her voice cool as ice. "You did that all by yourself." Amanda whirled on me, her nail digging into my chest, her face inches from mine, her mascara-streaked eyes wild. "You planned this, didn't you? You and your little brat set me up." I took a deep breath, the soda can crumpling slightly in my hand as I forced myself steady, my voice low but firm. "No one set you up, Amanda. You said it. 16 years ago. Sarah just played the tape." Grandpa Joe rose from his chair, his cane tapping the floor, his voice sharp and gravelly, cutting through her next screech like a blade. "You're 32, Amanda, throwing a tantrum at a kid's party because you're not the star. Do you even hear how ridiculous you sound?" Her eyes darted. Mom glared. Dad sighed. Jade zoomed in. "Chat's at 150K. Team Sarah's killing it." And she saw it. No one was on her side. Even Cousin Tony, a burly guy in a too-tight suit who'd always humored her, looked away, sipping his whiskey in silence. Lila, my lawyer friend from college, leaned against a pillar, her sharp bob framing a smirk as she muttered to David, "She's digging her own grave. I've got a defamation case ready if she keeps going." "Matt!" Amanda pleaded, turning to her husband, her voice cracking as she stumbled toward him, her heels catching on the rug. Matt stood near the dessert bar, his broad frame slouched, his tie loosened, his tired blue eyes meeting hers with a weariness that hit me like a punch. He'd been carrying her chaos too long. "Say something," she begged, her hands outstretched. He ran a hand through his thinning blonde hair, exhaling slow, his voice quiet but firm, a steel edge beneath the calm. "I'm done." Her face crumpled, her breath hitching. "What?" "I'm done," he repeated. "With this, with you. You ruined her night. I can't keep pretending this is normal." The room went still, her nervous laugh shattering the silence. "You're just mad." "I'm embarrassed," he said, his gaze hard, and turned for the door, his boots heavy on the floor. "Matt!" she shrieked, lunging after him, her arms flailing, but her heel slipped on the champagne-slicked floor. She crashed hard, A thud echoing as she hit the hardwood, her dress soaking in the mess, her mascara streaking black rivers down her cheeks. Gasps rippled. Jade gasped, "200K live!" And Amanda wailed, a broken sob of pure humiliation, her hands clawing at the floor. No one moved. Mom stepped back. Grandpa Joe shook his head. Lila raised an eyebrow, and Matt didn't look back, the glass door swinging shut behind him with a soft click. Sarah's whisper hung in the air, "Best birthday ever." And I squeezed her hand, my laugh shaky but genuine, the sound mingling with the fading echo of Amanda's wail as she sprawled on the champagne-soaked floor. The ballroom buzzed with a tense energy, guests whispering, waiters hovering with trays, unsure whether to serve or sweep, Jade's phone still rolling as she muttered, "250K live, chat's losing it." Amanda's sob broke into a hiccup, her hands clawing at the hardwood, her sequined dress a soggy mess clinging to her like a second skin. Her mascara streaked black rivers down her flushed cheeks, her once perfect blonde curls plastered to her face, a pathetic caricature of the poised real estate agent she'd been hours ago. Matt's exit lingered like a ghost, the soft click of the glass door a final note in the symphony of her collapse, and I felt a strange mix of relief and dread settle in my chest. Relief that Sarah was safe, that we'd held our ground, dread because I knew Amanda, she didn't lose quietly. I glanced at Sarah, her blue satin dress catching the chandelier light, her calm unshaken, her brown eyes glinting with a quiet fire as she watched her aunt flounder. "You okay?" I asked, my voice low, the soda can still cold against my palm, a lifeline to the normalcy we'd lost. She grinned, small but fierce, squeezing my hand back. "Better than okay. Look at her." We turned. Amanda was scrambling to her knees, her heels skidding on the glass-strewn floor, her wail morphing into a furious snarl as she pointed at me, her nail jagged from the fall. "This isn't over, Kate," she spat, her voice hoarse, her eyes wild. "You and your little brat, you'll pay for this." Grandpa Joe tapped his cane, his gravelly voice cutting through. "Enough, Amanda. Go home." But she ignored him, staggering to her feet, her gaze darting to Jade. "Stop filming, you little bitch." Jade smirked, zooming in. 300K now. Say hi to TikTok, Auntie." Mom stepped forward, her face still red, her hands trembling with a fury I'd never seen. "Get out," she said, her voice low and final, pointing to the door Matt had vanished through. Amanda laughed, a high, unhinged cackle that made Lila, leaning against the pillar, raise an eyebrow and mutter, "She's a lawsuit waiting to happen." "Out?" Amanda sneered, swaying as she grabbed another glass from a passing waiter, spilling half of it down her front. "You can't kick me out. This is my family too." She hurled the glass. It missed the wall, smashing near Tyler's DJ booth, the kid ducking with a yelp as shards flew. David moved then, his broad frame cutting through the crowd, his voice a deep rumble. "You're done, Amanda. Go, or I'll carry you out." Her eyes widened, her bravado cracking, but she stumbled toward the exit, muttering curses, her heels leaving wet streaks on the floor. The room exhaled, guests murmuring, Jade crowing, 350K, Team Sarah's legends, and Sarah tugged my hand, pulling me to the dance floor as Tyler cranked the music back up, her friends swarming around her, laughing like nothing had happened. I watched her spin, her grin wide, and felt the weight lift, just a little, but I knew Amanda's parting shot wasn't empty. The next morning my phone buzzed relentlessly, not her, but everyone else. "Check Facebook," Jade texted. "She's gone nuclear." I opened it. Amanda's post, a novel of lies tagging me, Sarah, Mom, Dad. "Kate's been jealous since we were kids. She got pregnant to steal my sweet 16, forced our parents to cancel it. Sarah shamed me at her party. They're toxic. Unfriend me if you support them." My stomach dropped. Comments flooded in, her cronies buying it. "Cut them off, babe. You deserve better." My hands shook, rage boiling as I scrolled. Sarah patted in, rubbing sleep from her eyes, her phone buzzing too. "What's up?" she asked, peering over my shoulder. She read in silence, then laughed, a bright, fearless sound that startled me. "You're laughing?" I said, incredulous. She grinned, taking my phone. "Let her dig her grave. Look." She scrolled. Guests from the party fired back. "I was there, Amanda. You're full of it." "You threw a glass, not Sarah." Mom's comment hit hard. "You demanded we cancel. Stop lying." Jade's video dropped. Amanda's rant, the old VHS, her crash, 5 million views, hat mic drop meltdown trending. Amanda flailed in the replies. You're all brainwashed. But the tide turned, her lies drowning in truth. She didn't stop. Text to mom. You're dead to me. Voicemails to me sobbing. You stole my life. Then she banged on my door, wild-eyed, screaming, Give me the video. Sarah stepped up, phone out. Live again, Aunt Amanda. Smile, Amanda shrieked, fleeing as Jade's 500K live pinged. We fought back. Jade's full cut hit every platform, 10 million views, strangers piling on. This aunt's a train wreck. Paris over a party? Iconic. Amanda's job saw it, fired her for unprofessional conduct. Matt filed for divorce, took the house, the car. She had nothing left, her empire of ego in ashes. Months later, a letter arrived. Amanda's scrawl, pages of blame ending with hope you're happy. Sarah thrived, I breathed free, but last week a text from an unknown number. You'll see me again. Sarah smirked. Round 2? Jade texted. Chat's ready. Lila laughed. I've got a restraining order drafted. I'm solid. Sarah's unstoppable. We're unbreakable. And Amanda's a shadow, her threats fading like smoke. Some people crave the spotlight so bad they'll burn the stage down. Amanda learned it doesn't shine on ashes. I learned family's worth defending. What about you? Ever had an Amanda grab your mic? Drop your fights below? Let's hear your victories.